Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video here, we'll be going through for 3.4.30 patch note, and we're gonna have two new Esper. One is the Flow, which we can use Wish Stone to actually summon for, and another is the Shimmer Esper that you need to summon through the Shimmer record. Alright, so we'll go through the kit and see what they are gonna bring to us. So Yorana is Kamaitachi, is a 5-star Flow Esper, and Kamaitachi is actually a furry. Because you go into Google and then you will see Kamaitachi is a Japanese yokai, and then it's like the Tetsuya Dam is like the Japanese yokai, right? So she's going to be a furry and it's going to be a whistle. Alright, so I'm not sure how they are going to perform he or her in game, but because we haven't seen the art sprite, right? But we're going to see after probably today for the new version preview or tomorrow. But then Yorana is a support who follows teammate in stealth and enhance their combat power. So it's a very good buff for Tetsuya or the other Esper. In terms of we're gonna see, like, in terms of the interaction, like it probably is gonna be very good with Iki as well, because as long as it's the stealth Esper and they're gonna get benefit with Yorana. Then S1 here attacks one enemy and applies Seer to the target. There's a passive. After a followed enemy, you're actually in the stealth mode, and then being the highest attack, then Yorana will follow you. It's like your mini pet following you, alright? So if let's say your Iki is actually at the highest attack and then he's actually in the stealth mode, then Yorana will actually follow Iki. And then not sure this takes action outside their turns if it includes Iki's passive or not. If it includes Iki's passive, then it will be OP. If it does not include Iki passive, then it's probably just a combination with Tetsuya or probably Elaine. But it have to be outside of their turn, which is going to be like Assist or Pursuit or Counter Attack. This kind of stuff will only trigger Yorana's passive. So after a follow teammate takes action outside of their turn, Yorana launch a pursuit attack with a tail slash on the enemy with the lowest HP percentage. So if Tetsuya does something like counter attack to that target, then Yorana will trigger S1, attack one enemy. Not sure what is the scaling, did not mention is it an attack scaling or a HP scaling, but then it also applies Seer, and then it will pursue the attack to the lowest HP percentage enemy. It's not going to be the one that get triggered by the counter attack. Like let's say if Champagne do AoE damage and then Tetsuya counter attack to Champagne, but Yorana will be going to the lowest HP percentage instead of Champagne, if Champagne is not the lowest HP percentage. Then ability 2 on call. At the start of the combat, follows the teammate who is in stealth mode and have the highest attacks. So that's two conditions. You have to be in stealth and then you have to be in highest attack. So if you have so many stealth Esper, it will only follow one, which whoever have the highest attack, and then Yorana herself will get this Eclipser. Eclipser is removed when a follow and a teammate dies. So if there's no teammate to follow before her turn begins, she'll select a new teammate to follow. This is the part I actually want to test. Like if there's no stealth Esper in the battleground, but there's only one other DPS Esper, will Yorana actually follow that guy? Or it have to be in the stealth mode? So that's the part I'm curious, because if there's no stealth Esper in the battlefield already, and then there's only other DPS, will Yorana still follow someone, or it must be in the stealth Esper? Okay, so if he successfully follows someone, then he will get this Eclipser buff that will provide herself a stealth mode, so she can go into a stealth mode as well, and then increase the damage deal by the follow teammate. So if she follow Tetsuya, then Tetsuya damage will also get increased, and then she herself will go into stealth mode. So she is basically also a stealth Esper that will benefit the other stealth Esper to do more damage, and she will catch pursuit damage as well. So this is actually a very good combination with Ryota, which is the previous Fox Esper, and then Ryota needs a lot of stealth Esper, right? Because if the more stealth Esper, the more Ryota able to get damage reduction, and then Ryota's buff is basically providing and benefiting all stealth Esper. So probably we can do something like Ryota plus Yorana plus Tetsuya. Then probably the other two we can go for like Elaine and Iki. probably. Then we're gonna have 4 Stealth Esper including Yorana, and then we're gonna make Ryota going to be the one that tank all the damage, and then 4 Stealth Esper can keep staying in the stealth mode. I think probably can do something like this. And then for the S3 here, randomly remove 1 debuff from a random ally multiple times. Not sure how many times, but it's only removing debuff. It won't heal or anything. Then grants T break to all teammates in stealth and extend their buff duration. This is actually very good because you remove debuff. Not sure how many and how the random actually apply, but you grant T break to all teammates in stealth, so the stealth Esper will get more longer duration of stealth, so they can keep staying longer in the stealth mode. And then you attack all enemy and inflict attack down and crit rate down. But because Yorana is actually in stealth mode, so she won't trigger counter attack or this thing, and then she can just do AoE damage and apply attack down and crit rate down. So that's 2 debuff here. And T break here is actually a very massive buff, because each stack reduces the chance of taking critical hit. It works kind of like Chu Yao, but not sure the attribute of reducing the taking critical hit, how many is the value. And then when you're affected by debuff like dispelling effect, debuff, stealing effect, or AP down, all these kind of effect, you are able to consume 1 stack of T break to nullify the effect. So this is also very good. So let's say the remove debuff here is actually 5 times. Then probably every teammate here gonna get 1 stack of T break, and then every T break here can help you block 1 kind of debuff effect. So this is actually very good as well. Not to mention that Ryota can also remove debuff, so it will make Ryota have an easier time to remove debuff as well. Stackable with a limit, not sure how many limit, but I'm gonna assume it's gonna be 3. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be 3 stack, and then overall it seems very good for the S3. So in terms of kit at R0 here, she's gonna be directly gonna be a very strong combination with the Stealth Esper, but then no healing in the kit, and then she can keep assisting with your Stealth Esper with targeting the lowest HP percentage unit, and then also benefiting the Stealth Esper to do more damage. But this is basically the bread and butter for Yorana. Alright, but what if you actually get the reso? The Tail Slash here, which is your S1, will increase the final damage deal. So your S1, which is the one that keep helping you to pursue attack, will increase damage. And then your R2 effect, after casting the Tail Slash, which is after casting your S1, you are able to dispel debuff from the follow teammate and heals them. So now your S1 here no longer just attack enemy and apply seer, you also remove the debuff and also heal your teammate who is the follow teammate. So if she follow Tetsuya, then Tetsuya is going to get auto dispeller and also heal as well. Then R4 here increase the T-bait stack granted, probably from 1 stack increase up to 2 stack per remove debuff, I guess, so double the amount. Then R6 value here, when the follow teammate deals damage, inflict extra true damage based on Yorana max HP. This itself seems very good, but keep note this is actually at R6. So when teammate deals damage, this what makes me curious is what if she actually have her at R6 and then you pair with Iki, and then whenever Iki deals damage, because Iki will do damage through the passive damage, then will Iki's passive damage actually trigger this, and then you are able to inflicts additional true damage based on Yorana max HP whenever Iki trigger the passive. If that's the case, it might actually be a very good combination with Iki. Or else, if you pair with Tetsuya, then probably is Tetsuya nuke them with a 1 hit damage, and then Yorana apply another max HP damage to it. Right, of course, depends on the interaction. For now, in terms of interaction, if R6 actually works like with Iki passive, then it will be very good combination with Iki. Or else, I think the more value one is probably going to be like Elaine, that multi-hit, because multi-hit probably can trigger a lot more true damage. I'm not sure how the interaction is going to be, but R6 here looks very interesting. R2 here looks very interesting as well, because you have Dispel and Heal. But everything comes back to how you actually interact with the passive, the one she follow with. Because if the condition it have to be in stealth mode and then the highest attack, then the Esper limited range will reduce only the stealth Esper. Not many Esper that can actually have stealth mode and highest attack in the same time. Probably the 2 Esper I can think of is Tetsuya and Iki. Okay, then the next one is going to be the Shimmer. It's a 5-star Victor, and it's going to be Aton. So Aton here is the Egypt Esper as well, the Egypt god as well, and it's actually very strong kit as well. It seems a little bit complicated because there's different kind of form to actually interact with, but this Victor here seems very good. Interaction with Meta Drew, Meta Ollie, probably Badrun in a copium way. I'm not sure how Badrun is going to fit into the team, but as long as you actually revive meta, Victor benefits a lot, especially Meta Ollie and Meta Drew. In my opinion, is already like the base team comp itself. Alright, so Victor is a fighter who grows stronger as unit on the battlefield die and revive. So the more unit you die and revive, the more stronger Victor is. And then S1. Your S1 deals attack to one enemy. It dispels several buffs from them. Okay, it seems like it's only one hit, and then it dispels several buffs from them. Is it like one hit and then you instantly dispel like 3 buffs from them? It seems very OP for S1. And then if Death Order is active, she will gain attack up, crit rate up, and crit damage up before attacking. You instantly get 3 kind of buff, which is all aggressive before you attack if you are at Death Order mode. It has 2 kind of mode. Then the other mode is if Life Order is active, you get defend up, absorb, and shield before attacking. Okay, so when she's at death, she's basically the more aggressive mode. Then if she is at Life Order, then he will be in the more defensive mode. So depends on what mode he's currently at. Okay, then for the S2 here, at the start of the combat, he gains Death Order. So which means at default, he'll instantly be the aggressive mode, which is the one that can get attack up, crit rate up, and crit damage up. Alright, then in Death Order, is immune to control debuff from enemy which is lower attack than Victor. So you don't have to worry about Victor is actually getting control. But I'm pretty sure Tyrael will actually just bypass this because this is a passive. And if you actually do too much of action, then probably Tyrael will just like cool whip you, right? But other than Tyrael, it seems like you are not able to control him like using freeze, like Yokai, Frost Set, all these things to actually freeze him. I don't think he's actually to do that because you should be lower attack than Victor. Alright, so in Death Order mode is an Undispeller buff, and then when a unit dies on the battlefield, it will permanently increase Victor's attack up to a maximum limit. Alright, as long as a unit dies. So if you die and revive, you instantly trigger and make Victor attack higher. And imagine now if the unit that actually die is actually Meta Drew, and Meta Drew dies, after that Meta Drew will revive, and Meta Drew will actually benefit all your ally to do more damage, and then now Victor actually increase more attack, then Victor can do more damage as well. And then in Death Order mode, upon death, it will immediately revive and becomes immunity to all damage for the current active turn. Then switch to Life Order. So in Death Order, he will guarantee that he is able to switch into Life Order for at least 1 turn. Because if he die, immediately revive, he'll immune to all kind of damage. No other damage is actually able to kill him until he switch into Life Order. Alright, Life Order is the one that he's actually in the defensive mode. So Life Order, undispellable, immune to disease. So you are not able to block him for self-healing. Because in Life Order, if he casts S1, he's gonna get absorbed. So there's no way you are actually able to block him from healing himself because he's immune to disease. But you're actually able to control him now. Okay, because immune to control debuff from enemy, lower attack than Victor. I'm not sure if this is actually applied to Death Order or not. So if, like, let's say in the patch note order, right, probably this is Death Order, then this is Life Order. So unless this immune to control debuff from enemy is actually like universal, or else in Life Order it seems like you're actually able to control. Then when a unit revive on the battlefield, permanently increase Victor's attack up to a maximum limit, and this effect won't remove upon death. Okay, so the Death Order and Life Order are basically the same, and then they also increase Victor's attack permanently, and also triggers when a unit dies on battlefield. But Death Order and Life Order, there's a difference, which is Life Order is immune to disease. Okay, but then if Life Order dies, then he's no longer able to revive, because only Death Order can immune to all damage when he actually died. Okay, so there's so many order. Alright, then for S3, can only be cast when his death order is active. You can only cast S3 when he's at the aggressive mode. He will sacrifice HP to attack all enemies and apply Sear to target, which cannot be resist. So the Sear cannot be resist. It's a single target, it's a single AoE hit in my opinion, because it did not mention multi-hit. And then passive is when life order is active and HP reaches a certain threshold, you're actually forced to cast Dislyte, ignoring any control effect. Okay, so because you're only able to trigger this effect when death order is active, but if death order is not active, then you are only able to trigger this passive. Then if you're in a life order, which is the defensive mode, and your HP reaches certain threshold, like let's say you recover HP until 70%, you're instantly forced to cast this skill that ignore any control effect, which means even you're getting control effect, you will cast this Dust Dig. Then this Dark Druid here attacks all enemy, gains an additional turn, and switch back to death order. So this is the way that he actually switched from death and life. Okay, it's a bit complicated, right? But you can think this as at the start of the combat when he has the death order, which is the aggressive mode, he can sacrifice HP and do damage. Alright, but if he actually die, he'll go into life order, then he will be at low HP, right? But then he's immune to disease, so he can actually slowly heal back himself through the absorb. And then when he heals back through a certain threshold, then he's actually able to force himself to do an AoE damage and get an extra turn, switch back into death order, then he can do either S1 or S3 again. So he can keep switching between death and life and until that if he reached a certain condition. So death will go back to life. Then if life reached the HP threshold, then he'll go back into death. So there's actually an order with it. Then after you ascension it, either just attacking AoE and then apply Sear, you also have a new effect now. If the target attack is lower than Victor, the damage partially ignores damage mitigation effect. So the S3 here can now ignore certain damage mitigation effect as well if you actually have higher attack if Victor attack is higher than you. Alright, but most likely it will be because the passive here, it will keep increasing Victor's attack. Alright, then basically that's it, right, for the kit. Yep. Alright, then if it's R1 here, your S3 is it? No, this is S2. Your passive effect here, when switching to death order, you get damage up for 1 turn. This is actually very good. But when you switch to life order, you gain invincibility for 1 turn. But I thought that he's not able to get any damage at all, like when he switched into life order. Cause here, right, upon death, immediately revive and become immune to all damage during current. Oh, probably it's because the immune to all damage is only for current active turn, and then for other turn it will be nothing, right? Then R1 here will actually make himself to be able to survive from the damage because he will gain invincibility for 1 turn. I think the R1 is actually massive. And it's actually pretty good because it's just an additional 1 copy. This will actually help him to survive longer when he's actually at life order. Because after he die, he revive, he go into life order, he immune to all damage only for that current active turn. So after that current active turn, if other enemy take action and kill him, it's actually possible. So you kind of need the invincibility then, if that's actually the case. Then for R2, it's also upgrade for the passive. After casting any ability, chance of launching a pursuit attack with the S1. So if you actually cast S3, you actually have a chance to launch a pursuit attack with S1. Seems very good, but not sure the chance. It's only like 10% or 15%, then I think it's not really that worth, cause you cast S3, then you have a 15% chance to cast one S1. Probably it's not going to be that worth it unless the S1 multiplier is like very high and then the dispel several buff is actually very strong, or else I don't see the R2 effect going to be that OP. Like if you launch pursuit attack, it will also mean that you're actually able to trigger Momo, or you'll trigger the other effect, like if you do something outside of your turn, you get debuff, all these things, right? Like you Heimei, all these things. So I'm not sure if this R2 is actually a buff or not. I want to see like the percentage of pursuit attack and how worth it is actually to trigger the S1. Right, but overall this is the R2 effect. Because if you want the reso, you definitely have to go through the R2 as well. Then for the R4 here is for the S1. Deals half the ability damage to enemy other than... Oh, this is actually making the S1 become a splash damage. So your S1 does damage to one target, and oh, then it kind of makes sense. Okay, so the R4 here does 1 damage to one enemy, right? And then the other enemy also get half of the damage. So if you do 100k to one target, then everyone will get 50k damage. So it's actually like Luis or Taver, that splash damage thing. So it's actually very good. So if you have R4 and you trigger the R2 effect, the pursuit attack, then you trigger S3 AoE damage, then you pursue with S1 and another splash damage, then it will seem that it's actually worth the interaction now if you have the R4. I'm not sure when you only have R2 if the interaction is actually worth it. Then for R6, after revive, permanently increase attack up to limit. Oh, R6 seems just okay. I don't think the R6 seems like very broken. I think R2 and R4 have the most value in my opinion. Like for low spender, probably R1. Then R4 and R4 is actually where the best place you can actually stop. R6 is kind of like the Wuyu situation, you know, like Wuyu R4 is massive increase, then R6 is just some additional add-on. Then his R6 seems like additional add-on as well. It doesn't seem like too OP or broken, in my opinion. Alright, so can be obtained from Echo after this update. Alright, so the skill kit itself is very complicated, but it seems very strong and fun because it will just keep switching around death and life order. If you actually interact your team very nicely, he can just keep switching from life to death, death to life, just keep on swapping and keep getting buff, like keep giving up so many kind of buff, and then keep maintaining him at, like, let's say in death, right, he dies and then he go into life, and he goes into life. If you're actually able to heal him up to a certain amount of threshold, then he's actually able to go back into the death order. So it's actually going to be a very good interaction. I think it's very good with Meta Oli, with Meta Drew, and probably another one healer and one supporter. That's all good because he's going to be the main DPS, and then we can probably use Meta Drew as a unit that keep dying and revive. Same for Meta Oli, and then probably we can put Badrun. I'm not sure if Badrun is actually needed in that team, but I can probably do some healer like Ahmed, for example, in case they actually reduce the max HP on this unit, then we can actually buff him up and make him into the only main DPS as well to kill them. Alright, so these are the two new upcoming as well we're gonna have. One is for the stealth team. She's gonna be very good for the stealth team. Combination of Ryota and Tetsuya are probably Iki. Then this Shimmer here is going to be very good for revive team. It's going to be benefiting with Meta Oli and Meta Drew. Then we're gonna have Anomaly as Season 3 past Phase 2, which is the continued version of the roguelike. So basically here everything is the same. And then for the raid up, we're gonna have Pinda. Whoa, Pinda actually rerun faster than I thought. So Pinda, Sakura, and Yorana is gonna be at the Wish Pool raid up. So yeah, Pinda probably will actually be a very good interaction with the new Shimmer as well. Same for Sakura. Then we're gonna have Johong and TA, and then Yokai and Nora. Okay, then we're gonna have championship rerun, but no new Esper for the championship. It's just getting for champ coin. And then we're gonna have Luna Grace. It's basically for the lock-in rerun to celebrate the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival. Oh, the Mooncake Festival is probably gonna have some new event, but this is just for the lock-in event. So lock-in, you get some gold record, Sabrina Supply, legendary ability mon, and then for 14 days you are able to get a skin. This is actually the same skin we used to have, right? So it's a rerun of the Hengria skin, or you get a skin voucher for free. I have a lot of skin voucher though. Alright, so basically that's all for this upcoming 3.4.30 update. And in terms of visual, right, I can't really show the visual currently, but if we look at the patch note image itself, we can actually see the new Shimmer image here. It's very blurred, but we can roughly see how it looks like in terms of like the visual. But I can't show you the clear visual yet until they actually post out the new version preview. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down what you guys think about these two new Esper, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Trent Ken, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Chani, Antonio Winterspoon, First Law, D&D, thank you so much for your support. And special thanks to the Super Thanks MVP, HMZ Riggs, thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Chani. Thank you so much for your support.